Hi Libra, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol. Libra, this is going to be your mid-month August 2024 reading. And in today's reading, we're going to be doing Carol's check-in. And so we're going to be specifically looking for a pattern that's showing up in your life right now to heal. And we know it's a pattern because we've seen it before. And it's going to be something that triggers us emotionally. And when this shows up, we have a tendency to sometimes deny that it's happening. Our ego will step in and sort of spin some stories in our head and tell us why it's not a pattern, why we don't need to look at this. Because our ego fears anything to do with emotions, and so it'll try to block it. And we have some resistance to dealing with it. And so it's really important to look at our patterns that show up, that repeat themselves in our life, because they are telling us what's coming up for healing in our shadow. And our shadow lives in the unconscious. It's all those things we've repressed about ourselves. And so we need to heal what's in there. And it's very important that we focus on this and we shed some light on it. And we're going to do that in this reading. So we're going to be doing some shadow work. If you're unfamiliar with the word shadow work or shadow, I've left a really good video that I've done for you on my other channel called Carol Cares. And the video is called My Powerful 4-Step Guide to Shadow Work. And I'll leave it in the description box for you. And it really is a video about facing your shadow and how to go about doing that. And then finally in the third step, once I've determined with the tarot's help what's coming up for you to heal, what pattern you're dealing with, we're going to look at how you can start to heal this. And this is what's the most important thing for you. And so I'm going to lead you in a direction of how you can heal this. And I'll also leave you with a video, again, from my other channel, Carol Cares. And it'll be a video that's going to help you start your healing with this pattern that's coming up from your shadow. So we're going to be using the Tarot Grand Luxe, and I'm going to clarify that with the Rider-Waite today. So I have just a couple announcements. I'll be also linking your August 2024 reading that I did for you, Libra. I'll link that at the end. And also the big news and the good news for me and maybe for you is that I'm going to finally be offering some personal readings. And I shouldn't say finally. This is a young channel. I've wanted to get myself established, and finally, I've been talking about these readings a bit if you've been following me. So I have 5 beautiful readings that I've done on this channel that I'm going to offer you. And I have a 10% discount right now. So the link to my page, my Yellow Cardinal Tarot website page, is going to be down below in the comments in the description box. And I've also just put out a little video recently talking about my readings, so you can have a look at that. And so let's begin. Let's look at what pattern is showing up right now for Libra. And I want one card for that, please. Oh, a lot want to come out here. Ooh, you have the Knight of Wands that's showing up right here as your pattern. And I like when I see them, they're anxious to come out. Maybe it's because I've tried this reading 3 times already. Okay, so what aspect from your shadow is driving this pattern? And it's coming from your unconscious. So let's have one card for that, please. Oh, okay. This card comes out, your 2 of Swords. These cards are flying out today, which is good. I think one flipped here, but maybe not. Oh, yeah, here it is right here. Okay. And what advice does the tarot have for you to begin to heal this pattern? What advice does the tarot have? Well, it wants me to have these 2 cards. This one came out first. You have the Knight of Coins. And then you have the, I believe it's the 2 of Swords. Just looking at how to read this here. This is the 2 of Swords. Oh, I'm sorry. This is going, oh, I read it wrong. 10 of Swords. Okay, I saw 2 swords here, and then I went, I have the 2 swords right here. It's the 10 of Swords. I didn't read the number at the top. It helps to read the number. Okay, so I'm raring to go, can you tell? I've been putting these, not so much putting these readings off, but it's just like when I go sit down to do them, and this is something that I haven't said on my channel before, I just get this anxiety every single time, and I have to deal with it, and it's frustrating because it's like, okay, am I ever going to not feel anxious when I sit down and start reading and put the camera on? So for those of you that ever, are thinking about, doing YouTube videos, and I don't know, it's just this sort of anxiety that comes up for me. But okay, so the Knight of Wands. Let's have some clarifiers for this. I'm going to ask the universe right now, the tarot, for 2 to 3 cards here to clarify this Knight of Wands. This deck is not spitting up as much as the other one. Let's have some clarifiers, please. 2 to 3 cards here. I do like the other deck because it really comes out. They seem to fall out a lot easier. I'm not getting clarifiers here. I'm going to switch decks only because that one's not coming out. So this one will come out, I think, easier. Still the Rider-Waite, but it's the Radiant deck, and it's a little bit smaller, but it'll be good. So 2 to 3 cards. Here we go. Here's one. And that came out like this. And a couple more here. There we go. And one more maybe. If I need it. Okay. Oh, we got 3 pages in the top row. Wow. Funny because yesterday I was sort of hearing that I needed to use this one and I ignored it. It was like, oh, that's too small, but I love how they come out. So 2 of Swords. Well, that one was stuck to my hand and it came out. All right, so you have the 8 of Pentacles and the Tower card in reverse. I'm sorry, I think I forgot. I did name you had a page here, but I didn't tell you that you had your Death in reverse. So we'll talk about that one. And that card kind of got folded and crumpled when it came out for some reason. All right, so let's clarify the Knight of Coins and the 10 of Swords. Couple cards here probably. There's one here and one more. Wow, I love how these fly out from this deck. There we go. Oh, got one here, got one here, one here. Okay, so you have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. And I'll try to stretch a little bit more so you can see these. The Page of Wands. And the High Priestess in reverse. Okay, let's start out with your pattern. So you're aware of this pattern, and what's showing up here, we have the Knight of Wands starting off right here. So the knights in my deck are what I call my freedom fighters, and they want nothing more than freedom. We all want freedom from different things, from different people. And the knights in particular are an adolescent part of us. So I want you to think of a teenager that is told, you can't do something, and how angry they'll get. And if they're not allowed to get angry, they're going to turn that anger into hopelessness. And this Knight of Wands here is the Knight of the Wand. And the wand is what we take to go into a certain direction, to follow our purpose, to do what we want to do, and to take a creative direction for our life. And when I say creative, I mean something that is for us. It doesn't have to be like something like when you hear the word creativity, like, learning how to play an instrument or draw or something. It's just something unique to us that maybe we've always wanted to do. And we've been maybe having this idea, something you want to do, something you want to do for yourself, take your life in some sort of direction. It's a general reading, so you can figure it out. And you want this freedom to do it. And it's just almost like it's bursting here, wanting to come out, right? And so that's the pattern that's showing up for you. And for whatever it is, each time there's something that comes up with that. And this is what this clarifier is right here. Well, behind it, I see, first of all, that you have two pages sitting here. You have the Page of Pentacles, and then you have the Page of Swords. And they are surrounded by this Death card in between. And so let's try to figure out what this is. And what are our pages, first of all? The pages in my deck are our inner children. And I know you've heard of the term inner child, but mainstream psychology likes to say that we just have one inner child. But I've been on this healing journey intensively for my own complex trauma for about 7.5 years now. And I know now that I have more than one inner child in me. Our inner child carry our emotions and our memories and our trauma from our childhood. And we hold that in our body. And so you have two of them here, and that means you have two inner children that need healing. And when they need healing, we often can see the patterns, whatever they're holding from childhood. You know, it's the memories of what they know. They're going to come up and they're going to come out and sort of spill out into our adult life. And the first one is the Page of Pentacles. And the pentacle is about our self-worth. It's about the body. The pentacle is the body. And it can, you know, often refer to our workspace. It can often refer to our material world. It can, and our health. And it also can refer to our worthiness, you know, our self-worth. And so it's in reverse here. And so I'm seeing that there is, it's blocked. And it's wanting to talk to you about, you know, it's holding your sense of self-worth, and it's feeling very unworthy. And so you have a younger child here feeling very unworthy. In the other page, and I'll get to the Death card in a minute because it's in the middle. And the other page is the Page of Swords. And that is the page of authenticity, of who you are, who you really are, right? And there is a younger part of you that, you know, believe it or not, when you were younger, you knew who you were. And oftentimes you knew what direction you wanted to go into. But because of this unworthiness that's sitting here, that's happened to you when you were younger. And this explains what happens here, because we have the Death card, which is a major universal force in your life. And it's in reverse here. And so when you were younger, this pattern that's showing up for you, I should say right now, is I'm not going into your shadow yet, but you know, this card speaks of in an upright position. You see these gruesome bodies here. It's like there are certain individuals in our life, certain things in our life when we're on this healing journey that we need to let go of, that have to go. And this is in reverse for you. And so right in the middle of this pain that's coming up for you from these two inner children that are sitting in your shadow, you have this Death card that's in reverse, and there's a resistance to it. And it looks like, I'm wondering, you know, if you are sitting in some kind of a relationship, you're involved in some kind of relationship. It could be with a close friend. It could be with a work colleague. It could be with an intimate partner. It could be with the person you're living with or married to. You know, whatever it is. It's saying that, you know, there is someone or something in your life right now that you want the freedom from. You're wanting the freedom to take your life, to take you, to be you, and take your life into a new direction. You're wanting to find the authentic you here, get back to that. But there's something in between here that you're having a difficult time. And, you know, you probably know it. It's a pattern where you're just feeling stuck because you have this situation that you haven't let go of, or you have someone that you haven't walked away from because you need to. And when you're on this journey, unfortunately, and I was told this at the beginning when I started my intensive healing journey, was that, you know, Carol, there are people and things that you're going to lose along this journey. And I didn't want to hear that. And in fact, I knew there was one individual that I knew I was probably going to have to lose, and that was ending my 30-year marriage. And I knew I needed to walk away from that, and I didn't want to. And a big part of me didn't want to do the healing journey because I knew that was going to happen. It was, to me, I kind of knew it was inevitable, but I just put it off and put it off. And so I don't know why I'm telling you that. You could relate to that story, but what I'm seeing here is that there's something that's blocking your two pages or your two inner children that need healing because you need to walk away or end something. So like I said, it's a general reading. So what is it that's coming up from your shadow when you were younger that maybe would explain, I haven't looked at it, that maybe might explain why you're unable to walk away, why you're unable to, end certain relationships, if that's what it is, or let things go? Well, the first thing is the Two of Swords. And explain something to me a little bit about you right here, Libra, in that it's saying the Two of Swords is about someone that needs to make a decision. And they have this, they literally are up in their head. And this is coming from your shadow. And so this is something that's coming from your childhood or your adolescence, and it's in reverse here. And so when you were younger, you didn't learn how, or you weren't able to, or there was just something where, you probably were given some bigger tasks when you were younger and forced to make an adult decision about certain things. And now when it comes to, and you were a child back then, so, you really had difficult time making decisions, and you probably didn't have the support. And I can see that you didn't have the support because the Eight of Pentacles comes in here behind it. And the Eight of Pentacles, normally speaks about being in a position, a job where we are enjoying what we're doing. And so I'm seeing here that you didn't have the decision. It could be your decision to, if we're talking about the job space here, when you were younger, when you were growing up, the decision for you to what sort of job or career you were going to go into was made for you, was decided for you. You couldn't decide for yourself. And there was a huge Tower moment here that comes in at sitting in your shadow, and that is it's in reverse. And so for me, it's like it's not like a extremely significant Tower moment, but there was something chaotic enough in your childhood where the ability to make your own decisions was taken away from you. And that could be something like, coming from a very controlling environment. And so if that is the case where you've come from a very controlling environment, and it says where, you weren't able to make that decision of even choosing what career you wanted to go in. If I go back up here, I'm wondering if it's maybe you're making a decision about changing your career and doing something for yourself that's different than what you're doing right now, or, whatever it is. You didn't have the control over that when you were younger. Someone else controlled that for you. And so now it's coming time for you to decide that as an adult, you can't do it because you couldn't do it when you were younger. Do you see what I mean? How that pattern's showing up. And so what you need to do is you need to get back to, where did this originally come from? Why isn't you can't make the decision now? Because you were controlled when you were younger and told what you were supposed to do. And so you need to get back to that, because when you were told what you were supposed to do, when you were controlled, well, there are some real emotions that are attached to that as someone that wasn't allowed to do what they wanted to do. And so you have to go back and heal that. And so let's look at what advice the tarot has, or how you're going to heal this. Well, you come with the Knight of Coins here, and here's another freedom fighter. And it's about pentacles. It's about your body. It's about your self-worth. And you want freedom. And so you have some, I'm going to say, because it's about your self-worth, you have some oftentimes the emotion of shame is attached to that, where you don't feel like you matter. If you're not given the option to do certain things when you were growing up, then you feel like your opinion didn't matter. You feel like you're not supported and validated. And right behind that was the second card that came out, was the Ten of Swords. And so this particular card talks about all these heavy belief systems that you have, that you were told about yourself. You know, maybe you were told that you weren't smart enough. Maybe you were told that you were dumb enough, or that you were too dumb to do, if it's in relation to a career. I'm going to stick to that right now, but you can apply it to yourself. But maybe you were told when you were younger, you know, why would you want to do that? You can't do that. You're not smart enough. And maybe you were compared to other people and said that career is not for you. You know, and so all these swords, which are our mental energy, our belief systems that were thrown at you when you were younger, and why you couldn't do something, it have really done you in. And the universe really wants you to question, you know, what are these things in your head, these belief systems? Where did they come from? Where did they come from? What were you told when you were younger as to why you can't do in this top row? Why you can't do what you wanted to do? Because that's what's blocking you right now. Those are the things you're probably hearing in your head. Why you can't do this. And because the Seven of Pentacles comes in here. And it's in reverse. Interesting that we get the 7. We had the 8 in your shadow. And the 7 is like a card, you know, if in an upright position, it's like, you know, you're probably in a space where you've sort of settled. And, you know, sometimes we can tell ourselves things like, well, I'm too old to do this now, or this is not for me. And I just, you know, it's something I've always wanted to do all my life. And, you know, it's not for me. And you've kind of turned that around and you've given up. And you've kind of told yourself, you know, this is definitely all there is. What I'm doing now, this is it. Like, I'm not meant to do what I want to do. And so the universe wants you to turn that around and say, no, this isn't true. And here's another page. This is the 3rd page in your reading, and 3 different pages. This is the Page of Wands. So here's another inner child, and this is the page with the wand. You have an inner child that at the top knew who you were, and has, you know, knew what your worth was, and also knew what purposeful direction you were supposed to go into. And they knew. Your inner children knew all these things, but it was taken away from you when you were younger. And so you have to go back and heal this inner child that couldn't go into the direction they wanted to go into. And then you end off with the High Priestess as another card, which is, you know, which is in reverse here. And the High Priestess speaks to us of it's a feminine, beautiful feminine quality that we have. I mean, this is a major arcana card. So this is the second half of the feminine energy in the major arcana. The other one is the Empress. She talks about your wisdom. She talks about your inner wisdom, which is your intuition. You have intuition. You can go inwards. You know, this is the card that's saying you have the ability to go inwards and get in touch with your inner guidance. Get in touch with these inner children again. Get in touch with, you know, maybe you're sitting here going, I know there's something here for myself, but I don't know what it is. You know what it is. You have all the answers in you, but you just have to go inwards. You need to ground yourself and start to listen. Start to hear what messages are coming up for you right now. I'm going to suggest to you to really put an effort into journaling. And I'm going to leave you with a playlist at the end, because you have a lot of messages. I think you need to tackle your unworthiness. You have a lot of messages that you're telling yourself right now. And I think it's time to start to heal some of your inner children and the messages that you've been told about yourself. And I want you to learn how to journal from those messages. So for example, you hear like, you can't do that, you're too stupid. Well, that's your writing prompt. You can't do that, you're too stupid. And just keep on writing from that. And that's the message that your inner child is holding, that they were told when they were younger. Because you need to start to heal those emotions and those beliefs about yourself. And that's how we do it, through journaling. All right? You can do this, but you have to get to, writing about what these younger parts of yours are holding and what needs to heal. So take care, Libra, and I hope this resonated with you. This journey is a difficult journey, but it's the most important one of your life, and I'll talk to you in September. Bye-bye.